Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho can be understood as one of cinema's most vivid dramatizations of Freud's concept of the unconscious, where repressed desires, unresolved trauma, and forbidden identifications operate beneath the surface of conscious life and erupt in unexpected violent forms. Rather than treating madness as an inexplicable anomaly, the film offers a psychological reflection on the instability of the self, suggesting that human subjectivity is divided, fragile, and shaped by forces it cannot fully know or control. Careful, spoilers ahead. Freud defines the unconscious as a domain filled with desires, fears, memories, and impulses that have been refused by consciousness because they are socially unacceptable, morally forbidden, or psychologically threatening. In Psycho, Norman Bates is constructed precisely around this refusal. His attachment to his mother and the guilt and desire associated with it are intolerable to his ego. Instead of confronting them, Norman represses these impulses, pushing them into the unconscious. Yet, repression does not destroy desire, it transforms it. The mother personality emerges as a symptom of this repression. Norman does not merely imitate his mother, he becomes the vehicle through which the unconscious acts, punishing desire while simultaneously indulging it. Philosophically, this Freudian division challenges the modern notion that the self is unified and rational. The ego, the part of the psyche that consciously plans, reasons, and makes decisions, likes to imagine itself as the ruler of the mind. Freud argues that this is false because the ego is only one part of the self among others. Norman appears courteous, shy, and coherent, but the surface identity is revealed to be an illusion. Freud's insight that the ego is not master in its own house is literalized in Norman's body, which becomes a contested space between competing psychic forces. Hitchcock invites the viewer to share in this illusion by initially aligning our sympathies with Norman, thereby implicating us in the fantasy of a coherent selfhood before exposing its collapse. Hitchcock's cinematic language reinforces this Freudian structure. The architecture of the Bates house functions as a spatial metaphor for the psyche. The public, everyday spaces of the motel correspond to the conscious life of the ego, governed by routine and social interaction. The upstairs bedroom, associated with the mother's authority, reflects the superego and its social norms and moral prohibitions. In Freud's model, the superego is the most severe and often the most cruel inhabitant of the psychic house. The superego forms through the internalization of parental authority and social norms. It is built out of external commands that, over time, become an internal voice that does not merely guide behavior, it judges and punishes. The basement, where mother's corpse is hidden, signifies the unconscious, dark, buried, and preserved outside of time. When Norman descends into this space, the film suggests a regression into the deepest layers of the psyche, where repression has frozen trauma rather than resolved it. The famous shower scene marks a crucial Freudian rupture. Marianne's crime murder is not only a narrative shock, but a symbolic eruption of the unconscious into the film's surface reality. Hitchcock fragments the body through rapid montage, denying the viewer visual coherence, just as the unconscious disrupts rational perception. Sound overwhelms meaning, echoing Freud's notion that the unconscious communicates effect rather than clear ideas. Marianne's death also represents a moral transgression, punished with excessive force, reinforcing the theme of unconscious violence and superego guilt. Importantly, Psycho extends Freud's theory beyond individual pathology to implicate the spectator. The film manipulates desire, curiosity, and identification, luring us, the viewers, into voyeurism and then punishing it with violence. Our initial fascination with Marianne's theft and Norman's secrecy mirrors the film's unconscious economy, desire followed by repression and punishment. In this way, Hitchcock suggests that the mechanisms driving Norman are not alien but exaggerated versions of structures present in every human. In the end, Psycho offers a bleak but profound philosophical insight consistent with Freud's vision of the human condition. Identity is not a stable essence, but a precarious negotiation between conscious narratives and unconscious forces. What terrifies in Hitchcock's films is not simply murder, but the recognition that beneath the ordinary surface of everyday life lies a psychic depth capable of undoing reason, morality, and selfhood itself. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to keep track of other videos. Don't hesitate to leave a comment or to contact me if you want to know more. See you next time!